Hello, magical people. Welcome back to the As Above, So Below show here on the Beyond Mystic YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. I'm here with the lovely ASHALA as usual, and also the very lovely Sylvia. We've got a three-stir, if that's a word I can use, three-stir show today. Three goddesses together. So happy to have you here again, Sylvia. How are you guys doing? Good?
Pretty good.
We'll get into it. Before we get to the content of the show, you guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube and Rumble channels. I was seeing some comments today of some people getting unsubscribed by the technical overlords. So just make sure you're subscribed to keep up to date with all the content we're putting out there if you'd like to keep up to date. And as usual, also, we've got our personal consultations available on consultations.beyondmystic.net. So if you guys would like to gift a psychic tarot reading, I've been usually calling it, Sylvia, psycho tarot reading. I keep a psychic tarot reading with ASHALA for 2025, or to gift one to somebody else, you can go over to the link in the description box below. Also, other housekeeping thing, we've got holiday promo, 50% off. It's our annual time of year with the holidays. We're 50% off on all the courses, workshops, activations, and meditations on the Beyond Mystic Academy. So you guys can go check that out at the link below as well. And that's only valid from now till December 22nd. So, okay, all the housekeeping things are out of the way. There's three of us. This is fun. ASHALA, I'll start with you. How are you? How's life?
It's good. You know, we were just chatting for a moment there before we came on, and Sylvia was saying about being in that, like going into that cocoon, coming into the winter solstice time. I am feeling so much gratitude, even though I think I have the last show on actually winter solstice. My show is the final one for the holiday season. So I've got a little ways to go. I've still got sessions booked this week, but I'm really longing for that beautiful deep reset like never before. Am I feeling so much willingness to take a deep breath and just decompress? That's where I'm ready for.
Wow, I am completely resonating with what you're saying, like totally. And I'm sorry, you guys, if you hear crazy cat sounds in the background. My cats, Ocean and Shia, are going nuts because we've just set up the Christmas tree and there's presents under there. So they're just like freaking out. So sorry about any weird sounds, you guys. Definitely resonating. Want to touch on that. But Sylvia, let's bring you up. How are you doing? We haven't seen you for, I can't even remember when's the last time we were on. A couple months ago, a few months ago. Time feels so weird. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me, ladies.
Yeah.
Really happy to be here. Yeah, I just, I kind of come in and out when I can. I'm very grateful just to be able to come in here. But how am I doing? I'm feeling extremely nourished right now. I have been really just respecting the season, respecting like moving out of the fall and this saw wind tides and really coming into, the tides of Advent, again, from a non like dogmatic perspective, but and just really preparing this space of presence and stillness to receive the return of the solar energy and to receive this sort of time of actual conception, right? Where the sun really just brings in this new code of intelligence and new code of consciousness. And so just coming into this stillness and really feeling nourished by it and really respecting that, like I would have to say the feminine embodiment aspect of like respecting the cycles of nature. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so resonating with what you guys are saying. And I want to bring up, if this will let me bring it up, our natural calendar that we have. We have the solstices and the equinoxes throughout the year, and that winter solstice for those of us in the northern hemisphere. For our friends in the southern hemisphere, they'll be having their summer solstice. But wait one sec, let me just bring up some calendar I want to show you guys here. This is a part of our natural calendar, right? Yule, the traditional Celtic name. Many other different names in other traditions, but Yule is one of the names. And I'm definitely resonating with you guys. Like, this is the first winter solstice where I'm really feeling the need to just like hibernate, be literally like a bear and need some time to just not do anything. And it's interesting because, and I want to ask you about how you both have been sleeping, what dreams have been like, because I've been noticing for me as I've been getting closer and closer to this winter solstice, I'm sleeping for like a bear, like 10, 12 hours, not waking up, just like totally out, and waking up feeling like I could just keep on sleeping for months is the feeling that I get. So yeah, I'm really feeling that winter solstice energy. And it is that time for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, as you were both of saying, just to stop, to not force things, to rest, rejuvenate, recoup, right? Are there, okay, first of all, before we get more into the winter solstice, how have your dreams been? Because I've been seeing a lot of people in the comments in the shows this past week saying, I'm having the craziest dreams of my life. The dreams are absolutely off the charts. Sylvia, we'll start with you. Do you remember your dreams? Do you ever work with your dreams? What's that been like lately for you?
Yeah, this is a great question, and it runs like very deep. So, yes, especially on the path of like entrainment into the path of the priestess, I've really been entrained on how to interpret my own dreams and how we do that through like long form, like actual writing and interpretation from the journaling aspect after we after we wake from whatever pieces we can remember. I actually do have a ring. It's a dream ring. It's a priestess ring, and it's like a very specific stone that I actually go to sleep with every night. And it's kind of like this muscle memory that brings me into this remembrance that as I put the ring on and I go into sleep, that a dream will happen. I mean, there's many layers, but how have I been dreaming? Oh my goodness, very vividly, like lots and lots of travel, lots of pieces around like purification, not, and I use the word purification not from a sense that anything is dirty, but just like purification and just this whole like unravel and letting go, refinement. Yeah, the dreams have been pretty wild. And I really feel it like what I feel is essentially, I mean, just look at this sort of past couple of years that we've all been in collectively, right? And this like deep slumber that we just want to feel like before coming into like the new season. It's just like I really feel there's this massive accumulation of all of this like healing aspect that we've been doing, like so much healing, so much like awakening, and that like just moves so much energy, and it's really hard on the body. It's really hard on the body, and we need rest, right? And I feel like a lot of that's coming in through the dreams, the dream space, and in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, that is such a good point, that we have been through so much in these past few years. I can't believe it's been 5 years since 2020. That's like, what the heck? That's absolutely insane. And yeah, for me with my dreams personally, and then we'll go to you, Ashala. I've been feeling like I've been having a lot of really intense personal fears, and also I feel like collective fears coming up as well. Like I'm definitely having my own shit coming up and processing some of my own fears in the dreams. But then like I think I shared this on one of the daily astro shows recently. I had this totally vivid dream last week that felt like days and days long, where there was an alien invasion. And I was locked in a building with people. And for me personally, I am not at all like conscious Meg scared of an alien invasion at all. And I woke up from that and I was like, am I tuning into some sort of collective unconscious fear that's going on? So very, very interesting. It was very vivid. Ashala, how about you?
Well, thank you for what you said, Salvia. I love it. And seeing dreams as an opportunity for a kind of a therapeutic reset, a healing for our bodies, our minds, our souls. And, like you, I've been working with dream analysis and dream work for many decades. And interestingly, what I've noticed specifically lately is the transference between dream life and awakening life, where, we have those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a dream. This feels like we call it, quantum entanglement. And I've had so many of those in this last 2 weeks. Like, it's almost like I'm going, I think I just dreamt this last night, or, oh, I knew this was coming. I know what that person's just about to say. Like those kind of almost, we go into dream time and we're lucid. And I feel like I'm in lucid consciousness dreaming, if that makes any sense. I know it sounds weird, but I can feel the quickening, and that's very normal in a way around these portals of the wheel of the year, these incredible portals where they say the veils are thinner, but this year particularly, I really feel, and it's exciting to me because it feels like a lot of magic is possible, and our intentions carry so much potency because of that. So I see it as a sign that we're doing something amazing, and it really invites us to be very conscious.
I love that. That is so cool. DigiBean here says, how do you know you're not dreaming right now? Yeah, that is trippy. You never know. We also have Amosalin says, is it strange that I don't dream? I hear that from people sometimes, that some people I've met have never had a dream before. Do you guys have any thoughts, feelings, wisdom around that, or recommendation on how people can remember their dreams?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I do feel as though I've heard it said, and I do have a sense of this, that most people are dreaming, whether it's more a matter of, are they remembering their dreams? And I like to even say, it's sort of like a hypnotherapy session. And if you were to go in, some people remember every detail of it, and other people, it's like, I don't know, something really amazing happened or strange happened, but I feel different. So I like to say, how do you feel when you wake up? Do you have a statement? Do you have words in your head? Do you have some kind of longing, or like a curiosity, or a little bit of anxiety? What are you feeling when you wake up? That's a great place to start to tap between the realms. So yeah.
Yeah, love that. And Sylvia, what do you feel?
Yeah, I love this whole piece. I mean, as always, we can keep unraveling this because this is so beautiful, but and there's many layers, but essentially, you know, like I always say, sort of like, not that there's a goal, but when we're on the healing path, and the more we kind of expand our consciousness, the sort of intention is to literally be awake in the dream. Right. This is it.
Right.
It's like what we said before. It's to be awake in the dream, because we are always dreaming our reality.
Yeah.
We're always dreaming it into reality. And for me, this comes back to some of the most foundational womb teachings, truly, is like, what are we creating from this like space of void, space of darkness, space of dream time, right? And so, yes, I do believe that we are always dreaming, right? Essentially, we're just not awake yet to the fact of the dream, or of what we're, so yeah, I just always encourage people that if you can't remember specific details or elements, or it's to really come back to the sensation
Right.
of like how you're feeling when you wake up, right? There's always like an emotion, and that in its essence is essentially, a big part of the core piece around like what we're dreaming about. Like, is it, and what we're trying to work out as well. Like, is it fear related? Is it expansive, love related? Like many, many, many aspects. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That feels, that resonates when you guys both say that. I never actually thought of that before, but that does make sense, because we all have a pineal gland. We all have an imagination. And yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Daisy Powerhouse says, Ashala, could you please do another dowsing workshop?
It's on the way. It should be long. I don't know when it comes out. I keep forgetting. When is it exactly coming out? But sometime late December. It's already been filmed and produced and everything, so it should be coming to you soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That segues very nicely into, actually perfectly into, the next thing that I wanted to bring up with you both, which is we're at the end of a Gregorian year. not a naturally, I call it the Gregorian year. And we're about to enter 2025, a new Gregorian year, very new energy. And I'm curious to hear from you both. What have you got planned? I know not everything happens as planned, but what are plans that you've got for 2025? Let's start with that. And then I want to ask if you have any intuitive feelings about 2025. Ashala, maybe we can do some cards after we share, do a little card pull. Sylvia, what's on the docket? Got any plans for 2025?
Woo, that's a big question. Yeah, I've got a lot in the works actually coming out. Yeah, I've got a few really interesting pieces, courses, workshops related around like womb foundations and womb healing and really descending, like for the feminine, like for women, descending into the womb and allowing really that to be our compass, because it is. That is our space of oracular expression. It comes out through the womb, right? That's how we learn how to be in our authentic expression in the
Right.
world. So many pieces around that. So lots of womb stuff. I've got 2 retreats, or I say returns. I call them returns. I don't call them retreats. We return to the land. We return to ourselves. And Egypt is back on the books. So I'm hoping this is not going to like blow up my emails. But anyway, Egypt is back on the books for...
It will.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I should have announced that. So it's not actually officially announced on my website or anything like this, but it will be for October 2025.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're doing a big piece around the solar feminine and the return of the solar feminine. And this is my segue. So yes, of course, there's many things that I will be dabbling with in the new year in terms of how I sort of do my service work and the types of offerings I'm doing. But the segue piece for what I'm really feeling into in terms of what's coming, this like new year, just sort of like in my realm, in my space, is I feel that there is a readiness more than ever to be exploring this return of the solar feminine, like, and not a lunar based feminine, because I can get into this whole spiel, but but like the solar feminine, and what does that actually mean in terms of union work. So much distortion has come up through the shadows, and so much illusion is being revealed and illuminated, and a lot of that has to do also with so much of the distortions around like the divine feminine arts these last like 5-10 years. And I think it's, a lot of people that are here for like integrity and discernment and truth, and who are really embodied in these feminine practices and these arts and these land-based practices, are ready to start speaking out about, like what it actually means to be in union in terms of like solar feminine and masculine, and my God, solar feminine and solar masculine. So yeah. So this is, I'm just dropping little seeds. I'm not going in too deep, but that's what I'm really feeling into, where I'm headed in 2025, and what I think collectively is going to come up in a lot more ways than we know.
Wow, so cool. And I forget if I mentioned this to you, Sylvia, one of the other times that we've talked, but did I mention that there's going to be an eclipse exactly over Luxor in 2026?
I think we mentioned it, but is it going to be in October?
Yeah, no. It's going to be, I think, August. So it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, that's going to be, I'm sure there's going to be really interesting things going on then. But you guys, you've heard it here. One of the first places here, Sylvia's doing a group trip to Egypt, October 2025. That's amazing. So exciting. And Ashala, what have you got planned for 2025? What are you doing for 2025? I know that's 2 really big questions, but
Yeah, well, 2025, what I've been seeing and sensing, and it aligns well for me personally, is this year of transmutation. And, we're going into the Chinese year of the snake.
right.
So that idea that we are literally changing from the inside out. Like the snake sheds its skin, but it does that by literally the new skin growing so beautifully that the old skin just falls off. Like well, you have to wiggle out of it, but it's this energy of like it becomes redundant, that old skin, because the new skin is just so beautiful and energized and healthy and strong. So I feel that within myself. Like I feel like I'm taking time this year internally so that as I transmute stuff and grow, like I've got lots of courses that I'm producing between now and July or August. I think there's 7 new courses that I'm going to be launching on the Beyond Mystic platform. So I'll be doing a lot of work, practical production kind of work. And yet, as I'm doing these courses, I'm not just like looking for information and putting it together in a nice way. Like I'm integrating, re-immersing myself in the material and literally bringing it to life through my own life experience. So I'm embodying these teachings and then I can just share them from that place. And so it feels to me like there's a review of a lot of things personally that I've been gathering for quite a long time. And I'm reprocessing them, transmuting them, and them sort of emerging through me like that new skin. And I see that in a lot of people around. So are we ready to like wriggle on down the path and get going? I feel like we're still growing ourselves into being these new people.
I love that you just brought up the Chinese astrology because I'm not super well versed in it, but I find it absolutely fascinating and makes a lot of sense when I ask people their Chinese years. Makes a lot of sense knowing a little bit about it. What are the years you guys are born? Do you know your Chinese years?
I'm a tiger.
Tiger. Wow.
I'm a
Sylvia?
monkey. A monkey.
I'm a monkey too. We're both monkeys. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I really resonate with being a monkey a lot. Some of the qualities of that. And, that year of the snake energy also makes sense with what we've got going on in the Western astrology, because it's going to be a very big year, 2025, of healing. And really, like the snake, shedding our skin big time. And all of us, we've been talking a lot, I know, on our show, Ashala, the As Above, So Below show, also other shows on the Beyond Mystic platform, about how, more and more people are waking up, if you will, going into 2025, 2026, and, having their consciousness open. But us, even those of us that have opened up to that mind, body, spirit connection, I feel like there's even great healing that we're going to be going through as well. And to me, what I'm picking up, looking at the astrology and also intuitively, is like learning how to be able to hold more space, getting even better at our boundaries and self-care. And health is going to be the biggest thing I'm going to be talking about astrologically. You guys are going to get sick of me talking about it probably, but we've got the eclipses in 2025 on the health axis of the signs of Virgo and Pisces. 3 full moon eclipses in Pisces in a row, which are huge karmic clearing portals, like immunity clearing portals as well. So yeah, Digibean says, Maha, make America healthy again. Very much about health. And I feel like having to hold space for others that may be really freaked out, that are just waking up, if you will, needing to really be in our boundaries during that process. Is that a theme that either of you have been noticing in your personal lives? Like anyone around you starting to get interested in spirituality or alternative things that were totally like close to it before? I'll bring you up first, Sylvia.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it's so interesting to watch, especially since I've returned back to Canada.
Yeah.
Just and I think I may have mentioned this before in some other shows, but like, yeah, there's a readiness. There's a readiness to receive topics and themes that, were not even in a scope of of being able like to even like touch on them before for many people.
Mm.
And I'm seeing that even just with like in my clients or just like in my coaching containers and these things, that there's definitely another expansion happening, another level of deeper understanding of
Right.
and again, this all comes with our refinement of integrity and discernment, which is what personally I think is really what, the snake as well. Yes, the death and the rebirth and transformation and
Mm,
100% all of that. But I also think that, like, the illusion, like, how would you say, not all has yet been revealed. There's still a mystery, right?
yes. Yeah.
And there's still mystery, and there's still like, and we're still all on our path in like such a unique way. And I just really feel that next year is going to be a big one for those who are, yes, like really stepping onto that path. So all that work that, a lot of us have been doing for, 5, 10, 15 plus years, like, and now we're ready to receive
Wow.
this kind of like wave, right, of new transformation and new energy, because that's going to make ripples in the collective as well. So,
Yeah, you just spoke so eloquently there on something that I was trying to put into words, but I couldn't. That piece around the mysteries being revealed, even to us, that even though we're awake, we've woken up spiritually, doesn't mean we know everything, right? And there's still
Mhm.
so much to be revealed. It's unbelievable. Uh, yeah. So, Ashala, could we pull some cards, or could you pull some cards for us, please, on 2025? What can we expect that universe wants to share, or is there a way that you would like to frame that to get the best, clearest guidance?
Yeah, I feel like maybe with regard to what we're speaking about with this health and
Yeah.
transmutation and the mystery of it all.
Mhm.
I love where you're going with this, and so let's see what our guides want to bring forward around. Um, yeah, just kind of like setting the tone is what I'm hearing.
Mm.
A tone to be set, because what I've been noticing is that there's so much, we're just so flooded at this point with all the different aspects of the narratives and the intel and everything, and it's almost like we're getting to a point where our discernment is coming in frequency. It's coming in like a feeling realm as opposed to a thinking realm.
Mm.
it has.
um like we're saying, that feels right for me right now, that doesn't feel right. It's literally just like a little, it's not about that's bad and it's wrong and it's evil and those ones have been co-opted. It's more like, yeah, that just doesn't feel aligned for me at this moment.
Mm.
And I feel like we can spend less time judging and analyzing and separating and black and white, and we can spend a little bit more gracious time just being very present and tuning in with our feelings. Let's see what the cards say. Ooh, okay. So we're coming in strong. We're coming in strong. 9 of Pentacles is the sovereign. And a lot of it is going to feel a lot easier. However, you've actualized your beliefs in the material realm, the easier it's going to be for you. So
Mm.
if you're living it, if you're working it, if you're investing in it, if you're producing it, and it resonates with you, you're going to continue to expand into abundance. And this is kind of like sovereign independence, success materially. But if you're not really living your truth and you're kind of either faking it, or you've settled for a complete going against your soul and your values to make a living or to do whatever, that's going to be hard, I think,
Mm.
for people. So a lot of us, because we've made the hard choices, like Salvia was saying, we did this, we made some hard choices, we've gone through some stuff. So we're going to start to be able to receive that blessing, and in direct proportion to how much we've grounded it in the practical. Oh, I mean, I think this is for our audience because this looks like amazing celebration, not necessarily like the big masterful victory party, but we know, for example, in March, it's going to be quite a shindig. It's going to be quite a homecoming of connecting with our community and enjoying ourselves. Well-earned celebration. And they're saying it's like recreation. It's like bringing joy back into the equation.
Yeah.
And the last one. Okay. So there could be a bit of a feeling by May. I feel like we're coming in, they're saying we're coming in strong, and March is like this beautiful like flourish of joy and celebration. By May, we could have hit a bit of a roadblock where it's like, you know, when you go to an event or something, you have this amazing experience, you come home and you're like, oh, my life is boring, or, you know, it doesn't feel so inspiring after I compare it to that. We could have a little bit of that by mid-year. I'm going to pull a couple of cards to see what to do about that. Oh, right. So it's basically, they're saying really just don't wallow there very long, because it's very temporary. We could go through a little down, May, June, we could go through a little dip, but they're saying don't get stuck there. Keep going, because there's a lot of karmic balancing coming in this year. So,
wow. Thank you so much for that, Ashala. That's very inspiring, and makes me think about, you know, I'm sure all of us, I don't mean to speak for you guys, but I'm making an assumption here. Let me know if it's not accurate. All of us have been in events, retreats, situations that were very magical, maybe even very blissful, and then had that experience of coming home and how to integrate that, right? When you're around like-minded people for the first time, or maybe another time. And I do feel that with this conference. I love that you're bringing this up, Ashala, because I have been feeling this ever since the conference was released. Is like, I feel like there's a lot of people coming to this event that have never been around like very many like-minded people, maybe never even gone to like an in-person meditation. Sylvia, you may be doing a like shamanic breath work, right? We're all going to be doing these offerings. That's a lot of different offerings in one weekend, a lot of socialization with like-minded people. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then how do we integrate that when we come back home? So I think that that's a really cool message that you just brought up there, Ashala. And it's nice that we're coming in strong. Very nice to hear that we're coming in strong, for sure. I forgot to mention what I would like to be doing for 2025. I do really feel it's important to speak things out into existence. So just to go back to that. Oh, did you want to say something, Ashala?
No, I was removing the cards as you were, and we doubled over each other.
Yeah. So for 2025, I'm really feeling like, for me on the personal level, I want to integrate my spiritual career back with my music career. That's something that's been very, very dormant for a very long time. And I kind of had an epiphany recently as to, not to get too deep or anything, but an epiphany as to why I've kind of like stopped playing music. When I used to be a person that I would write songs almost every single day. I would sing, I would play my guitar, I would be performing in bands and stuff like that. And I realized that it stopped. It was actually during my first Saturn return, 2021, 2020, when we had the whole kind of pandemic situation. And I went from like, my creativity got very, I don't want to use the word blocked, but it feels like put on hibernation mode, just because I was kind of in a survival mode of keeping up with everything that was going on, getting locked out of Canada because of certain medical choices being in Belgium. So I really feel like I'm feeling this ease of, okay, 2025, I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to integrate both of these streams together, and that feels right. And it feels like we need more creativity. We need more music. We need more dancing. We need more fun. Let's bring in some fun again, because I know a lot of us in our community, whether you're a musician or an actor or anything like that, it's like we used to, in natural society, dance all the time together, sing all the time together, story tell. And that is so nourishing. And we don't do that in the modern way that we live, unless you live in an intentional community, which good for you. Hats off to you guys. But I'm feeling that like, yeah, let's bring back those sacred just not even practices, just ways of naturally living, right? So I'm really excited to be doing that, and I'm feeling that like fire within me, like I'm ready to be doing that. I'm feeling inspired, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, I shared a little bit about the astrology already for 2025. Health is going to be super, super important. And I'm excited I think there's going to be, when we get into the autumn of 2025 with some of the aspects, I think there's going to be some huge innovation breakthrough for some kind of major health issue that we've been going through. Might even be as big as the experimental, you know what's, we're on YouTube, so I'll be careful on here, like that, or even cancer, or it feels like there's some huge breakthrough of something health-wise that has been a huge challenge for humanity in recent times. So I'm excited for that, astrologically big time. Also, want to bring up, because we're not going to be doing an as above, so below show for the next couple of weeks. We're all Canadians, Canadian gals on the screen here, and we've had some pretty big developments come up with Canada as of yesterday. For those of you who might not have heard, let me bring it up here on the screen. The Deputy Prime Minister of Canada stepped down. On this article, it says Trudeau's top lieutenant resigns with a bang. Yeah, this was kind of like Trudeau's secondhand wing woman. And this is a huge development, and we're now seeing the Canadian government very much in shambles. Things seem to be escalating. I know there's been many points so far where we're like, okay, Justin Trudeau's about to be out. We're about to have an election, and then we keep seeming to be stalling for that to happen. But what are your general feelings around this development? Do you guys feel like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, or just what are your feelings, Ashala?
Yeah, I feel like it's a very big deal because it is so in our faces. It is so in the mainstream media. It is so undeniable. And I think what's really interesting is I'm seeing this, whoever's in charge of the slant on the media, I am seeing a shift away from the polarization. And I am seeing this like almost get like, let's just say the questions and the narrative is getting more intelligent and obvious. So I feel like whatever is at the root of this, we've been waiting for such a long time for this kind of revelation and revolution. And it does feel like it's not just Canada. It's happening all over the world on some level. And it seems as though people are ready to go, not just like, oh, let's replace him with this one. It's like, we want to get in deeper and fix the systemic brokenness of these governments, basically. So I think it's really just opening things up.
Yeah, for sure. And you're totally right, Ashala. It's not just Canada. It's also Germany just did a non-confidence vote. The UK is talking, big things in the UK. Several different countries, a lot going on geopolitically. Sylvia, what are your feelings around that development?
Well, let me see. Yes, I resonate with everything, Ashala, you're saying beautifully. And my personal thing here is this, this is where discernment comes in. The cards came up and they were speaking to discernment, and I can do a whole piece on discernment in terms of, and I'll just try to touch on that a little bit. But to answer the question, there was a beautiful quote, which I'm probably going to not really say well, but what is it like? It's like it's like the lions or the wolves don't play in the circus or something like this. It's just like there's a circus happening, right? And
Right.
it's all players, and they all have roles to play, and we know that, like, our community knows that. And so on one hand, where from this perspective, it's like, yes, it's going to be nice to see all of this like coming to light, and like people having more of a readiness to like heal the systemic deception. On the other hand, you know, we have to have really, really refined discernment, because that too is going to be manipulated.
Right.
Right. So it's like, so, and I see in the comments here that apparently my, like, I'm not coming in as loud as everybody else. So if somebody just wants to drop in the comment, if like you can hear me when I speak, I'm hoping everybody can hear me, because I had a couple of comments in there.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with discernment, and like this is a whole piece, because I truly believe that discernment is going to be like the superpower of our immediate future. And it must be felt. It cannot be from the head. It must be a sensory experience, a visceral, in the gut, in the womb, in the heart, knowing of like being able to decipher and sniff out synthetic architecture over organic architecture. And what's happening is that the synthetic architectures, right? The synthetic threads of illusion and lies and manipulation are truly designed and engineered like as a technology to mimic what is organic. So it's almost like, for those who are not embodied, for those who do not have a direct relationship to body, right, or sensation, it's going to be a lot harder to decipher what is true and what is not true. And again, I can go on and on and on, but like I'm just putting that in there so that it, like, even with the politics, it's any system, and it's anything that is bred from the system. Right? We have to have this discernment. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm noticing people around me, at least, even if they're not aware of some of the more alternative things that have been going on, that discernment just naturally kind of coming up in people. People going, you know what, this is not okay. This thing going on, even though I kind of like that person at first, even though I may have voted for that person, I'm just feeling like you're saying, Sylvia and Ashal, feeling like this isn't right. Something's not right. I'm noticing that a lot in others. They may not be mentally aware of what exactly is the technicalities of why something isn't right, but they're feeling it deep down. So that's interesting how that really seems to be getting activated right now. And yes, discernment, super, super important. Ashala, I'd like to ask you, for the next kind of couple weeks where we'll be on our holiday break, we'll be hibernating in the winter solstice, celebrating with our families and our loved ones. Just a pull for all of us as a collective, like guidance for the next 2 weeks. We're at the end of this Gregorian year. What's coming up?
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious as well. I just love what you said, Sylvia, about that, the difference between the organic and the synthetic, and that it is, yeah, it's what I've noticed over the years of watching and sensing all of this is that it's, if you wait because you're, you know, and also your first instinct. We're so in our heads now. We're so quick to go to a belief, and that's because we're still coming from a trauma place, right? We're scared, so we want to quickly, okay, I got the right answer. I know what's going to happen. I believe this. Okay, we're good, right? But it's like, if we can just stay calm and say, something's funny in the air. I don't know what it is, but doesn't quite smell right. And then just wait. Because usually, if you give it, in these days, a minute, a couple of days, it all starts to unravel, right? Like those synthetic realities are not doing a very good job of mimicking organic anymore. They're really kind of failing at that. They might have done well for quite a while, but the fabric that they weave with is kind of toast. So we don't have to wait long, but if you're already, they're showing it to me like a web, like a spider web. And if you're already kind of enmeshed in it, it's going to be hard to find your way out, fight your way out. So just wait before you attach to something, before you say, yeah, I'm going to do, or this is the truth. And oh, that feels better having it that I know something. It's like, it also feels really good to reserve your opinion and observe. So reserve and observe. And you will start to go, oh, right, I had a feeling about that. And look what's happening now. Yeah. Let's have a look now at the cards for the next. Ooh, oh my. So the big wake up. Spiritual valor. So lovely. So lovely. So we don't have to gain ground over the next couple of weeks. We just have to hold the ground we've gained. And it really is actually a breathing time. Beautiful breath work, Sylvia. It's a time of like pause, regroup. We've got the high ground. And, we don't want to give ground. We don't want to like fall asleep on the job, but we definitely don't need to be trying or pushing. Okay. So there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress in our bodies, and it almost feels like what I'm being shown is that we're attracted to information that matches our frequency. So interesting, we wake up in the morning from a dream. You might have gone through a really big shamanic clearing in your dream, and you wake up and you're a little bit, you're some kind of anxiety in your body. And if you go to your media, pick up your phone, open your computer and start scrolling, you're going to literally tune into that frequency of information, and it's going to set your whole day. So what I'm being shown is really tune in to the stress in your body and watch that you don't go into consuming information unless your body is in a really good feeling state. So don't go in anxious, because we can really build anxiety over the next 2 weeks, or we can decompress and build this beautiful grace and peacefulness. And it literally is a matter of when to look this way and when to look that way. So tuning in, I love what Sylvia is saying about tuning in with your body and saying, where am I at? Yeah. So it's overall feeling like we have the high ground, and yet this is the sabotage tripwire that will potentially be there. And if it snaps on you over the next 2 weeks, it's going to hurt. It's going to be owie. Because it's sort of like, as we get closer to some of these major portals and major awakening nodes, the charge is pretty strong. And if you end up like already anxious and then you pull yourself, I've had some clients in the last couple of months where they've pulled themselves into this vortex of terrible anxiety by just kind of heading the wrong way in the wrong state.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Lots of really beautiful pearls of wisdom that you just shared, that, Ashala, and makes me think about too, for me, when we're in this winter solstice time, when we're in this holiday period, something that I always like to do is I take a social media detox and really let myself go within. I don't always feel it as intensely as I'm feeling it this solstice, but just disconnect like from all the noise. And in the Western astrology as well right now, there's multiple different things, Sun square Neptune, Mars Pluto opposition, like not everything is as it seems right now. And if you listen to my daily astro show, I've been telling you guys that every day. Positive Power says, I agree with Ashala, not going all in on any of these several drone theories. There are over 6 ideas at play currently. It's like, I don't mean to disrespect anybody here, but it's such a waste of energy when we don't know, right? If I'm not on the drone or whatever the heck it is, or if I'm not actually there in New Jersey seeing it personally, I don't know what's going on. There's all these theories. And personally, it's just me. I don't feel called to like listen to every single different theory about what it could possibly be. if that feels good to you, then great. If that feels good in your body, then do what resonates with you. But there's definitely a theme of not all is as it seems. There's several things trying to, I feel like, what was that card, Ashala, that last card that you pulled?
Nine of
The
Swords.
Nine of Swords. Does that ever have to do with self-sabotage?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
actually is the sabotage, the saboteur. It's also, like sort of sleepless nights, and it's, you can pull yourself back out of this. Once you get to the Ten of Swords, there's going to be a complete reset that you need to apply. The 9 is, it's the synthesis number. So we're still, you can change the tone pretty quick with the 9. You can just say, nope, I'm not going to keep, because see it as you're gathering, you're building energy. So if you're already anxious and you're looking at things that are going to continue to build anxiety, normally, okay, that's not a super great way to go about things, but it doesn't really have super serious consequence. This portal, this 10-day, 2-week period, you could ramp yourself up really wound up quite quickly.
Yeah.
And then this is where people get into projecting. Oh, they're after me. It's the ETs, it's the dark cabal, it's the negative ETs, and they're out to get me, and they're coming at me, and they're coming in my door, and I can see them in my window shaking. And it's like we work ourselves into a real panic. And I'm not saying that there aren't really serious, challenging energies to be very aware of. But what we want in our kind of toolkit when we have those energies around, and like first of all, we don't want to attract them unnecessarily, right? We don't want to be like magnetizing those energies to us. And if they do come around us, we want to be in our like fierce warrior, like, good boundary, neutral, calm, discerning. We don't want to be like terrified, because that just ramps it. It just feeds it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that kind of discernment that you're just and it's, I don't know if it's all the rest of our days on this earth plane are going to be this catalytic, but this 2-week period is definitely catalytic.
So it's a big what you're getting is it's a big 2-week. I mean, there was the Judgment card there. It's a big 2-week period.
Yeah. To be very, and this isn't about walking around on tiptoe eggshells and, oh no, I can't do anything. And, oh, I thought the wrong thought. Oh no, I'm, it's really more about just check in, breathe, check in with your body. Wait a minute. I just noticed I snapped at somebody and I feel kind of edgy, and what's going on? Like, what am I feeling? Oh, right. I haven't breathed. Oh, I haven't drank any water. I was going to watch this podcast. I don't think I'm going to watch that right now. Yeah.
Be
So
mindful of the podcasts. There's so many podcasts. Yeah. I find it interesting too that, winter solstice 12 years ago in 2012, many people thought was possibly the end of the world, the end of days. And that was actually we've actually just had a whole Jupiter cycle since then, because Jupiter takes 12 years to go through each of the signs in the Western tropical zodiac. So the last time Jupiter was in Gemini, where we have Jupiter now, was that December 21st, 2012. Getting the thumbs up from our streaming platform. And now we're 12 years later, a new Jupiter cycle, December 21st, 2024. I feel like this is just a really powerful solstice. It's always powerful, but definitely one where we invite you to tune into the energies of the solstice and see what it has to offer you. Sylvia, any practices that you want to share, anything that you like to do around this time of year that you want to share with everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to keep it really simple, really keep it simple, and just know that whatever ritual or ceremony that you're going to prepare around this time, always understand that we can always prepare a framework and we can set intention. But as we sit in ceremony, that we don't do the ceremony does us. So
Right.
it's being really available to receive. And really, this is the whole point of solstice, because it is a solar seeding. It's a solar seeding. And so my biggest thing is slow, present, quiet, right? So just even if that means, creating a particular altar specifically for this time. Um, yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to honor the solstice, but it's actually not about a big gathering. That's where like Christmas
Mhm.
has the opposite way. It's actually about really going internal and really being in deep presence, because this is what, like, when we speak about the immaculate conception and like what we're conceiving, we're actually in a portal of what we would typically have called the great rite, the solar rite, which is Eros Gamos, which is the
Right.
union, right, of light and earth, right? And so how that, as within, so without, all the things, but essentially we really, really want to go inward and be present with that. So however you need to create a space in solitude, even if it's for 5 minutes, even if it's for 10 minutes, just really taking an intentional time around this time, and just knowing that you're being seated with something, right, that is going to come into potential fruition. Like you're literally, your womb is being seeded, like the womb is being seeded
Mm,
at this time, right? So that's the conception.
right.
Yeah.
Love that. Beautiful. And I love how multiple of you guys in the comments are like, yes, yummy food and relax. Soup and cookie season. Yeah, it's like a time of nourishment, where we're healing, we're nourishing ourselves, we're allowing ourselves to rest. So, so beautiful. Thank you for that, Sylvia. And before we finish up here, I can't believe we're almost at the hour mark here. I wanted to bring up the Beyond Mystic conference page, because I'm not sure when the exact date is going to be, but I think it is at some point soon. The one-on-one readings will become available. Ashala, Sylvia, and myself will all be offering personal sessions, one-on-ones at the Beyond Mystic conference. And so these will be available to book in pretty soon. And I wanted to invite you, Sylvia and Ashala, to speak on what it is that you'll be offering. I know these are going to be mini kind of reading sessions that we're going to be doing. For me, they're going to be like 20-minute birth chart readings where I can also answer any questions that you have within that 20-minute period in the Western astrology. Ashala, what are you feeling for your tarot readings? Just letting people ask whatever they want to ask? You're going to do a certain kind of spread?
Yeah, I've done lots of events where I have very short time period. And I just think it's so beautiful that we're going to be in person, because it's been such a long time since I've done sessions in person. So I have to say, I've got some ideas and I would be open to feedback, but like something I love doing is tea leaf reading. We can't do that over the, we can't do that over the, the Zoom and stuff like that, but something where I also do palm reading. So I feel like it's probably going to be a bit of a hybrid 20 minutes where honestly, I'm just so delighted to be able to hold your hands and meet you. And then, yeah, let's get right down to the business of answering your questions. I'm going to have all my tools out. I'm going to have my pendulum. I'm going to have, maybe I can make a tea thing happen where I can read your tea leaves and have a quick look at your palms and just give you like a perspective, utilize these different tools so that you can receive a lot of benefit from your 20 minutes. That's what I'm hoping for, because for me, it's just so lovely to be able to actually be sitting face to face with so many of our beautiful family.
Mm-hmm. That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you. And Sylvia, how about you?
Oh my goodness. I'm excited to witness this, Ashala. Yeah, no, what I will be doing is I'm going to be offering mini oil anointing sessions. And so for many of you who don't really understand what that is, I will be speaking about this more on my show when I return on the Sacred Mysteries show, because I clearly don't have a lot of time here to like really dig deep into it. But oil anointing and using very sacred oils, I use really, really like sacred Egyptian oils and oils from different parts of the Polynesian islands. Again, this is not oils that are made in bulk. These are ceremonial oils that are like really handcrafted in ceremony with love, intention, and prayer. Uh, and prayer from a non-dogmatic perspective. I just want to make that clear. Intention. But essentially, one of the lineage pieces that I carry as a priestess is really this art of the Merfor. It's a mistress of the oils. And these sort of anointing sessions or ceremonies where you, I mean, they date back like 18,000 years. Okay. We've got like information, like this is ancient, ancient stuff. And really, it was just a way of being able to foster a deeper connection with like the divine, or like even with the Egyptian, they would say the Neteru, right? Or the Neter and the Neteru. And yeah, and using plant oils, which the ancient Egyptians would refer to as the Akyu, is really to bridge and to nourish the divine human. So there's a lot of pieces that people are like, what are you talking about? But really, I'm gonna unravel all of this in my show. But really, these are just really ancient arts that I'm really excited to share with those of you who are going to resonate. And I will be using really sacred oils. It'll be a tiny, like, I guess, 15-20 minute little session. I bring in Egyptian sound bowl and I use it with sound frequency. And what it does is that it actually shifts around your auric field. It helps to really deepen and how would you say, recode, right? Many things, traumas. It helps to kind of close gaps in the field as well, or lots of things that I could talk about here. So
That sounds absolutely magical. Oh my goodness. What both of you are offering is amazing. I'm so excited too to see everybody in person, and we're all going to share our gifts together. It's going to be so, so great. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us for another As Above, So Below show. This is going to be, again, our last one before the holiday solstice break. So we'll see you guys back in January, and looking forward to your show returning, Sylvia. That's going to be fantastic. Lots of people in the comments very happy to see you today. So thank you so much for joining us.
thank you.
And yeah, and also want to mention before we finish up that there's our annual 50% off the Insider Access Pass on beyondmystic.net. That's available with code IAP50 from now until December 22nd. Really good deal. You get access to all the Beyond the News, all the content with Janine and JC. So you guys can go check that out on the website. And again, thank you all so much for joining us. Wishing you a very, very happy solstice holiday season, and we will see you all soon. Au revoir.